Hey everyone, how's it going? Shuffle's back here with another video, and today what we're going to do is we are going to talk about the newest banner and a series that I started last week with the Alencia banner, and you guys seem to really like that video. So today we're going to do is the best Fire Cecilia. So a slight little caveat at the beginning, I've never seen anybody else use Cecilia, so I'm just claiming that mine is currently the best, but it's very subjective, and I will go over why in the video and give you guys some different build ideas as well. So let's jump over into the game. And as you can see, her banner is up. I already have her. I have a bunch of her. I use her non-stop in RTA. I use her in Arena. I use her in Guild War. Uh, both offense and defense. When I run bruiser teams, she could potentially be my most used unit, other than probably Alencia from last week. If you guys do think you have a better Cecilia, feel free to link it in the comment section down below, and I'll take a look. Like I said in the introduction there, I don't necessarily think it's not that the gear that I have on her is amazing. I think I'm just one of the few people, at least in Legend RTA, that actually uses her. So I feel like it's a good idea to take a look at her. Also in stream today, I got asked multiple times how my Cecilia was built, and figured this would be a good idea to do this video so that I didn't have to answer that question 100 times a day. So here's a look at her stats. She is on speed and immunity, 26k HP, 1300 defense, 222 speed, with 84 crit and 59 effectiveness. Let's take a look at her gear really quick, and then we'll go over some different ideas for her. So first things first, Hellraid weapon. So free-to-play weapon, you can easily get this. What I was looking for on this piece was speed, crit rate, and HP. I didn't care about anything else on it, and the Hellraid weapon happens to have all three of them. As we'll go over a little bit later, you don't have to worry about the crit rate, but keep in mind that you can't get defense on weapon pieces. So having speed and HP is really all you're looking for. If you wanted to go higher speed, you could. If you want to go effectiveness, you could. If you want to go crit rate, you could. All options. But for me, I wanted speed, crit rate, and HP, which means this piece is absolutely perfect. Up next is the helmet. Speed, HP, defense this time, and then an effectiveness sub. Um, if I had a high crit rate piece for here with the same other substats, I would probably use it. But I have other ones, but I think I'm using them on my bruisers. So I decided to ignore it here. That and this gave me the perfect speed tuning I wanted. So this is what I went with here. Again, I was hoping for speed HP defense. The effectiveness was just a bonus, but because her effectiveness actually does help her quite a bit, not a bad thing to be as your off substat there. Then another free-to-play piece for the chest, speed, HP, defense, and crit rate. So all four fantastic substats for her. You can easily get this from Hellraid. So just do your Hellraid, get the weapon and the chest, and you're already 33% of the way there. Now again, that's only assuming you're running her with high crit rate. Otherwise, you might want to look for other pieces with whatever substats you're looking for. Moving on to the ring, or this is not the ring, we're looking at the necklace. She's on an HP neck with, again, speed HP defense. Speed crit rate defense. Really looking for the crit rate and defense here. I didn't need more speed because I was speed tuning her to where I needed her. The res was just a bonus. Honestly, not helping me here. It would probably be better if that was effectiveness for me because I don't have high res on her, so it's not worth having just a little bit of res. Moving on to the ring this time, we have HP again, and again with speed and crit rate, this time with flat HP instead of defense, and again with the resistance. Kind of weird that I got the two big res substats back to back there. Still a really nice piece. The res just doesn't really help me here. Again, effectiveness would probably be better, but she does her job. And then finally, speed with a big HP substat, also big crit rate substat, flat HP, and effectiveness again. So looking at her stats, the one thing by going over those that kind of stands out to me personally, and I would probably like to have a little better, is her defense. Her damage is based off of HP, and she does have high crit rate, so that's why. I'd probably focus on getting her more crit rate before defense if I wanted anything. But as is, I'm not even currently looking for any improvements on her. She never fails me. She doesn't need incredible OP gear to be good. You can use her on like purple pieces. You can use her on Hell Raid pieces. She's always going to do her job. The main thing for Cecilia is having her speed tuned to whatever else you're doing. So you guys that have been watching the channel for a while know that I love to run her with my Alencia. If you didn't see the Alencia video, that's the one I put out last week. If you want to check it out, um, just check the previous videos. I will try and remember to link it at the end of this video. But here's my Alencia. She's 230 speed. And then coming back to Cecilia, she's 222. So I intentionally have my Alencia going first. Now, granted, sometimes because speed RNG is 5%, um, sometimes my Cecilia will go before my Alencia, and that sucks because I'm probably doing my skill 3 into immunity if I didn't get to strip first. So really unfortunate in those situations, but if I make the gap bigger, then I get cut too often, which is kind of a different problem altogether, right? I want my, say, for example, if I'm going DN, Alencia, Cecilia, if my Cecilia gets cut, then all of a sudden I have two units that don't have immunity, and something bad can happen in between that time, and that's not good. So I would rather risk my Cecilia going first than having the speed gap be any greater. 8 speed I find is pretty safe where you're hopefully not going to get cut, but at the same time it's not too big of a speed gap. So that's kind of why I have her at that speed. Now, as for different builds, like I said, I have mine high crit rate. I love the high crit rate. It helps me, say, for example, if the enemy goes like with a Spectre Tenebria into that combination of Cecilia and um, Alencia, then I can potentially even kill the Cecilia with just those two. Or sorry, kill the Spectre with just those two. It helps me the extra crit rate be able to finish off units like Spectre, or if somebody's trying to cleave, it'll help me finish off those type teams where they have a bunch of squishy units on their team, or if they bring a Collie, I can help finish off the Collie. Plus, she has multiple AoEs. So let's take a look at her kit really quick and kind of show why she's good, and then we'll go back to some other builds and why I'm running Aureus as opposed to Adamant. So her skill 1, insanely strong. 50% chance to defense break. Not many people have a 50% defense break on her skill 1. I do wish that I had this skilled up. I just don't have a lot of molas. But otherwise, she is skilled up. Then her skill 2, also really strong. Talking about her exclusive really quick, it does apply to her skill 2. Dispels 1 buff from all enemies after using her skill 2. So you can also use the other one that has her skill 2 has heal block, but there's not a lot of units that are only healers in the game. So that would be good against, like, I don't know, Angelica or something who doesn't have a cleanse. But a lot of the heals out there right now actually um, have cleanses attached to them, so it's kind of hard to make that work. But I find this one really helpful. That strip can come in really clutch, and of course the 15% effectiveness is really nice as well. It does help you land that strip and the attack break as well. And then moving on to the skill 3, this is her bread and butter right here. She gives team immunity, but at the same time she provokes the entire team. So if you have a strip going before her, and then she AoE provokes, if she lands all her provokes, you're almost guaranteed to win that fight. Quad provoke, as a lot of you I think have seen from Blue Tenebria, is insanely strong. Now, a lot of people are going to say, yeah, but you don't get the counter on it. Yeah, it's true, but it's not that shuts you down. It's the quad provoke that shuts you down. People seem to love ML Crow because he's got AoE immunity, and they seem to love Blue Tenebria because she has AoE provoke. But then, for some reason, they're not building Cecilia. I hate to tell you guys this, but she's both of those in one with her skill 3. Imagine if Crow had AoE provoke on his skill 3. Everybody would say he was completely busted. That's Cecilia for you. She's got both. It's really, really strong. and for some reason people just refuse to build her. My theory behind people refusing to build her is because of her twin. I'd be willing to bet that most people took their Fire Cecilias and they fed them into their Fallen Cecilia for imprints, and that's why just nobody's really gotten around to building their Fire Cecilia yet. Or they just have other options built. But that's probably why you don't see her a lot in Legend RTA. I think as time goes on, you're going to see a lot more of her, especially the more people start to realize how strong immunity is. So coming back to different builds for her. Like I said, mine is speed tuned for exactly what I need her to do. I don't need her any faster. I don't need her any slower. I don't need her to have any more HP, any more defense, anything. But you can build her different ways. You can build her with like the same basic tankiness stats, but you can take this crit rate and move it elsewhere. You can take the crit rate and move it into speed. If you run double strips, if you run, say, Basar by Zarya or Basar, even Blue Tenebria, you could run Cecilia really fast to go right after them. And she has really good base speed. You can see she's got 112 base speed, which for a knight is insanely strong. Um, but that would be an excellent option. I've seen a lot of fast Cecilias. I've even seen like 280 Cecilias in RTA. Just trying to catch people off guard that aren't running immunity. You outspeed them, go first, AoE provoke, put up immunity, and it's GG. So definitely an option in terms of her build. Also, if you really wanted to, you could take that extra crit rate and put it into effectiveness. Personally, if you similar to Alencia, if you watch that video, I don't like running her with high effectiveness. Realistically, if you're trying to provoke the damage dealers. You're trying to provoke the low res heroes, which means this amount of effectiveness is more than enough. Like I could even afford to have significantly less on there. The only reason it's nice is because later in Frenzy, it's nice to be able to land some of that, like I say, S1 defense break on a Ruel or something, is really nice late in Frenzy. But early in the fight, you're just trying to deal with the damage dealers. You're not trying to kill a Ruel. You're not trying to provoke a Ruel. You're better off doing other things, mainly because your strips probably aren't going to strip the Ruel anyway. Um, you have to strip first before you can provoke, and if you miss the strip, which depending on how much effectiveness you're running, then her effectiveness is being completely wasted, and you could have put that as crit rate or speed or however else you wanted to build her. Um, and obviously, with 15% being a thing, you have to first of all land the strip, even if you do have enough effectiveness, so you, without getting 85%ed or 15%ed, if depending on how you look at it, and then you have to land the provoke. So you have to avoid getting 15%ed twice. Um, I think it's better off just going with another stat. Odds are you're not going to land it on them. Although she does seem to be one of those units who lands her debuffs more often than not. Think somebody like Arby. You know how Arby never misses blind? I feel like Cecilia is the same way. She never misses her provoke. Her provoke lands a lot. Um, so that's pretty much it for Cecilia. The only other way you could run her is if you really wanted to, you could run her with like 25k HP and 2000 defense. If you wanted to build her super, super tanky, you could take that crit chance off of there and put it into defense. For the most part, people aren't focusing her, they're kind of ignoring her. And once she does her skill 3, her job's pretty much done anyway. And she's usually somewhat fast, so she doesn't usually get targeted too early. So having higher defense on her, I don't think is necessarily worth it. But that's up to you. If you're running her a different way, then by all means go for it. And finally, the last thing is the artifact. I chose personally to run this because I run my Fire Cecilia more than I run my FCC. Um, FCC I use more for defense, where Cecilia I use more for RTA and for offense. She's more proactive, I find. She does more things than just providing a tank that's there to protect people. Um, she provides a lot more across the board. All three skills are probably better. It's just the fact that she doesn't have the FCC passive. But so personally, I run her, which means I need that Aureus. Also, a lot of the bruisers I run with her, or other things I run with her, are on things like Draco Plate, or they're on Proof of Valor, or something like that, which means I have full damage reduction without having to run two tanks. So I don't have to run Aureus and Adamant in order to have full damage reduction. I only need to have Aureus. If I run FCC, I usually bring them both because my FCC is the one on Adamant. Also for Anti-Cleave, FCC is usually the one that gets banned, so that means my Adamant gets banned instead of my Aureus, which is a little bit better for Anti-Cleave, especially if you have units on um, things like Draco Plate and Proof of Valor and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. I hope that helped you guys out and helped you understand why I gear here the way I did. Hopefully, it gives you guys some ideas as to how you guys can gear yours. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys all next time with another video. And two quick things actually in terms of news. We do have our January RTA Championship tournament tomorrow on stream at twitch.tv/fivefingershuffle. So if you want to check that out, we will be starting at 4 p.m. Eastern. Wait, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Sorry. And then after that, the Jankai Cup tournament, the registration is open for that if you need to check that out. But it's only open registration to people who have legend finishes in Season 1 and Season 2 of RTA. So if you don't have a legend finish and you would like to qualify, make sure you let me know in the Discord. I have a interest list for the Jankai Cup tournament. If you don't have a legend finish and you want to enter, you have to win one of the entries. And I have only 2 entries to give away. So we will be doing something next week as to how to win an entry into that tournament. So make sure you post your interest in the Discord so I know to enter you into the contest. Otherwise, we will see you all next time. Thank you again, and have a great night. Bye for now, everyone.